Juicing and smoothies are really popular, but you might be wondering whether or not one is better for you than the other. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So I got a request in the comments to make a video about juicing versus smoothies, and I thought this was a great video topic because these are two things that both kind of have this health aura around them. They're pretty similar, but they do have some differences, and especially it's important to talk about this now because juicing has really blown up over the past few years. I mean, we always had like apple juice and orange juice, obviously, but all the green juices and these different combinations, that has really taken off, and I mean, now we have businesses that are solely dedicated to selling you green juice, whether it's at their storefront or you order it online or you buy it at your grocery store. So let's start things off with juicing. Now, a lot of people think of juicing as concentrated nutrition, and this is for a couple reasons. So first, when you juice something, you usually need a lot more of that thing than you could ever really sit down and eat at a normal meal, because you need a lot of kale, for example, to make a decent quantity of juice, or even something like cucumber, you're gonna need a few cucumbers to get a good amount of juice. So that way you're getting a lot more of these vegetables and fruits than you would normally. The second reason is because when you juice, you are taking out the fiber. So you don't have to worry about chewing and digesting that. You're just getting the water and the nutrients in a glass, so it's going to be a lot more available to you. So that's the idea behind juicing, but there are some negatives that come along with juicing. The first one is that you are taking out all of that fiber. Now, a lot of people think of that as one of the good things about juicing, but fiber is really important. If you're eating all these fruits and vegetables, you'd want to get the fiber to go along with it because the fiber is really important to make sure that our digestive system is working the right way and everything is moving along smoothly. Another thing to think about is how much fruit is in your juice. If there's a lot of fruit going in there, it's probably going to taste great, but it might not be the best thing because, you know, fruit is healthy and the sugar in fruit is perfectly fine, but if you are doing a lot of fruit in a juice, then you could be eating several apples or several oranges or whatever fruit is in there, and that's a lot more than you would normally eat if you were just eating the whole fruit at a meal or at a snack. So you're getting a lot more sugar overall than you would normally be getting, but you're also getting it in a much more concentrated form without the fiber there to help slow down the absorption. And if your juice doesn't have a lot of fruit in it, well, then it might not taste that great. Now, this isn't always the case, and you know, if you like it, whatever, that's fine, but I know I have had some green juices as someone who loves vegetables, and I was just like, I cannot drink this. How are people drinking this? Are we all pretending that this tastes good? Like I said, that's not all across the board. There's definitely some variation in things and some taste better than others. But I mean, if your food doesn't taste good, maybe that's something to think about. The other thing about juicing is it can be really expensive. One, because you're having to pay for such large amounts of produce all packed into a small little glass, but also because even if you do make it at home, you have to make that investment into a juicer. And if you want it to be effective and get the most out of the things that you're juicing, then you're probably going to have to get a pretty expensive juicer. Now let's talk about smoothies. So smoothies are different because you are blending up the whole food. So you're still keeping the fiber. Because of this, smoothies are usually more filling and they're usually used as a meal or as a snack, whereas juices are usually used as a beverage. Smoothies are also cheaper because you have less ingredients going in, and also you can make them easily at home with a pretty basic blender. But smoothies do have their problems too. The first one is that you are still drinking your food. Even though all the fiber is still in there, it's not the same as if you were just eating those foods in their whole form. For one, you'll probably drink that smoothie a lot faster than you would have eaten those whole foods. Also, when you drink your food, your brain can interpret that as being a beverage rather than actually being food, which means that you might not feel as full or satisfied as you would if you had just eaten those foods. And also with the smoothie, a lot of times those can be jam-packed with fruit too. And again, fruit isn't bad, fruit is perfectly healthy, but you have to think about with your smoothie, are you getting more fruit in your smoothie than you would normally have at a meal or a snack? Now, I'll tell you which one I like better in a second, but before that, I do want to say that I don't like juicing or smoothies better than just eating. One, I just think chewing your food is a lot more satisfying and enjoyable than drinking it. Second, I also think that it's easier to be tuned into your hunger and fullness cues and what your body actually needs if you're sitting down and chewing your food. But with that said, juicing and smoothies do have their place. Overall, I think I like smoothies better. They win out for me just because they do keep the fiber in there, and also because they are more affordable and more practical for the average person. Plus, smoothies are really convenient if you are in a pinch on time or you're trying to do something quickly. I obviously don't want people to be rushing when they're eating their food, but life isn't perfect. Sometimes we need something that's quick or on the go, and smoothies can be good for that. And for me, juices are something that I just kind of have every once in a while. If maybe I'm traveling and I'm not eating a lot of vegetables and there isn't really a lot of stuff available, but I could get a green juice, then yeah, I would go for that. Or if maybe I just want to switch things up, I usually have water, but I want to get something a little different, then maybe I'll get a juice. But it's not something that like you have to incorporate into your life to be healthy, especially if it's too expensive for you and it's not fitting into your budget. You'd be much better off just buying those fruits and vegetables and eating them in their whole form. And let me know in the comments, what do you think about green juices in particular? Because like I said, I mean, I've had some that are okay, but I've had a lot that are really bad, and I don't know if it's just me or if everyone is just agreeing to pretend that this thing tastes good, or if they don't care if it tastes good, or whatever. And if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here and you want more healthy eating tips and nutrition info and healthy recipes, then make sure that you subscribe, because eating healthy and living a healthy lifestyle really doesn't have to be complicated, and I want to show you how to do it. And if you're loving the free info here, but you're finding that you need something more personalized, don't forget that I do offer one-on-one nutrition coaching and counseling. So if you're interested in working with me, just let me know and we can get that set up for you. Thanks for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.